Nowadays, there are countless different types of apps out there for hiking on trails, reading maps, stuff like that. And while those are great and they can be really helpful, knowing how to read a paper map and having one with you at all times is a really important skill if you want to get out in the backcountry. Your phone could die on you or it could get lost, so having a phone is not always the most reliable thing, but what you can count on is your old paper map. So I'm going to teach you just a couple really basic skills if you want to get out in the woods and learn how to read your map. The first thing I would say you need to get acquainted with on your map is your legend. This is going to tell you what all of the crazy pictures and lines and colors mean on your map. So it's really important to take a look at that and figure out if the trail you're looking at is just a hiking trail, if you can bike on it, if you can horseback ride on it, where you can and can't camp. Things like that are really important to know, and your legend will tell you all of that. The second thing I think is really important to learn is how to read topo lines on your map. They're not just a bunch of squiggly lines. They will show you where the valleys are, where the mountains are, how steep of an incline you have in the day coming ahead. And all of that's really important to help paint a visual 3D picture of what is coming up for your hike. When you're looking at the topography lines, you'll notice numbers in line with them, and that's the elevation that that particular area is at. And then as the lines get closer and closer together, that's a steeper incline or decline, and when they get farther and farther apart, it's less severe. Another cool thing to note is when you see a circle on the map in your topography lines, that's actually the peak of a mountain, so that's kind of a cool feature to look out for. And the third thing I would say is to learn how to calculate your mileage. Not every map is going to tell you, and it's really important to know how many miles you have ahead of you. So Steve and I will take a piece of string, and every single map will tell you what per inch, how many miles that calculates to, and then you can take the string and follow along the trail and kind of calculate an estimate of how many miles you have, which is really important when you're figuring out what your day or your trip looks like. One of my favorite things about learning how to read a map is that you can take all of these things and you can really start to see in your mind when you look at a map what the terrain looks like, what your day looks like ahead of you. And it's a really cool, really empowering feeling to be able to understand where you're at. And just from a safety standpoint, it's really important as well. And not to mention, maps are great keepsakes. We have a huge stack of them with us at all times, and each one of them has a memory, so they become little souvenirs too.